In the heart of the East African savannah, a massive boar kneels in the dust, exposing its throat to a flock of razor-sharp, blood-red beaks. To any passing predator, it looks like an easy kill. A 300-pound warthog lying completely defenseless on its side, surrounded by avian scavengers. But no blood is spilled today. This is not an attack. It is the beginning of the wild's most bizarre, mutually beneficial hygiene ritual. The savannah is a brutal battleground where even the most formidable beasts are locked in a constant, unseen war for survival. The warthog, armed with curved, bone-crushing tusks and leather-like hide, is built to withstand attacks from lions and leopards. Yet its deadliest enemies are not the big cats hiding in the tall grass. They are microscopic, crawling, and virtually invisible. Deep inside the dense bristles and delicate folds of the boar's skin, an army of parasites is mounting a quiet takeover. Ticks. Thousands of them. These arachnid vampires swarm the warthog's underbelly, ears, and eyelids, areas where the thick hide thins out and blood vessels lie dangerously close to the surface. As they gorge themselves, these parasites swell to many times their original size, draining the host's vitality and injecting deadly blood-borne diseases. A heavy infestation can cause severe anemia, tissue necrosis, and blinding inflammation. For a solitary warthog, an uncontrolled parasite burden is a lingering death sentence. Without hands, fingers, or flexible limbs, the warthog is almost entirely powerless to defend itself. It scrapes its body against coarse tree bark, rolls in abrasive mud, and scratches with its hooves. But these attempts offer only temporary relief. Mud dries and cracks, but the ticks remain firmly anchored, their recurved mouthparts locked into the boar's flesh. The warthog needs a surgical solution. It needs an expert weapon designed specifically for parasite eradication. Enter the red-billed oxpecker. Small, sleek, and equipped with feet shaped like curved grappling hooks. This bird is an evolutionary specialist in animal maintenance. Where other creatures see a filthy, dangerous beast, the oxpecker sees a mobile feast. But this partnership does not begin by accident. It requires a shared language of behavioral cues, forged over thousands of years of coevolution. When the warthog feels the unbearable itch of a fresh infestation, it actively seeks out a flock of oxpeckers. Upon locating them, the boar does something remarkable. It flops onto its side, extends its legs, and relaxes its muscular frame into a state of total submission. It stretches its neck back, opening up the vulnerable skin around its neck and armpits. This deliberate posture is a clear signal to the birds that the salon is open for business. The oxpeckers descend in a flurry of feathers, using their stiff tail feathers for balance as they scurry across the warthog's massive body like miniature rock climbers. They move with incredible precision, targeting the exact zones where ticks cluster in high densities. Watch closely as the bird begins its work. The red-billed oxpecker does not simply pluck at the surface. It employs a specialized technique known as scissoring. Using its flattened, laterally compressed beak, the bird drives its bill directly against the warthog's skin, opening and closing it in rapid mechanical snips. This motion slices through thick bristles and pries embedded ticks free from the hide without tearing the host's skin. The transformation is immediate. The oxpecker systematically plucks away the bloated parasites, swallowing them whole. A single oxpecker can consume hundreds of ticks in a single day, transforming a debilitating infestation into a nutrient-dense meal for itself. For the warthog, every snip of the beak is a wave of immense relief, clearing away parasites from sensitive zones around the eyes, ears, and groin that the boar could never hope to clean on its own. Yet this relationship is far more complex and dark than a simple spa day. The oxpecker is not a selfless caregiver. It is an opportunistic feeder driven purely by its own evolutionary need for protein and iron. While it removes external parasites, it also possesses a morbid appetite for something else: fresh blood, and dead tissue. If the warthog has an open wound, an oxpecker will not hesitate to peck at the raw flesh, deliberately keeping the wound open to drink the trickling blood. In fact, evolutionary biologists have observed oxpeckers actively creating small incisions on their hosts or picking at scabs to prolong the bleeding. The bird is both a helpful cleaner and a micro-parasite in its own right. This creates a delicate evolutionary tension. Why does the warthog tolerate a bird that occasionally drinks its blood and keeps its wounds from healing? Because the math of survival in the wilderness is brutal and precise. The minor blood loss caused by a handful of oxpeckers is a trivial price to pay compared to the devastating impact of thousands of disease-carrying ticks multiplying unchecked across the boar's body. The warthog tolerates the pain of the bird's beak because the alternative is slow, agonizing decline. As the cleaning session continues, the oxpecker moves to the most sensitive region of all, the inner ear. Ticks frequently crawl deep into the warthog's ear canals, where the skin is tissue paper thin and shielded from the elements. A tick burrowing here can cause severe inner ear infections, disrupting the boar's sense of balance and leaving it helpless against predators. The warthog tilts its head, remaining completely still as the oxpecker thrusts its bright orange-red beak deep inside the ear opening. The bird probes around the delicate structures, accurately snatching up tiny parasites and earwax. A single flinch from the warthog could crush the tiny bird, while one wrong move from the oxpecker could puncture the boar's eardrum. Yet, driven by instinct, both animals execute this high-stakes procedure with incredible calm. Suddenly, the wind shifts across the savannah. 100 yards away, obscured by the dry grass, a female lion freezes, her amber eyes locked onto the lying warthog. She drops low to the ground, her muscular frame moving in absolute silence as she stalks closer. The warthog, blinded by the sun and fully relaxed in its vulnerable pose, is entirely unaware of the apex predator closing in. In this moment, the symbiosis reveals its ultimate, life-saving dimension. The oxpecker's vision is razor-sharp, tuned to detect the slightest movement against the uniform yellow backdrop of the plains. As the lioness takes a soft step forward, the bird's head snaps toward the threat. Instantly, the oxpecker emits a series of harsh, piercing hiss calls, a sharp, rattling alarm that echoes across the open field. The effect on the warthog is instantaneous. The moment that alarm sound hits its ears, the boar's relaxed posture vanishes. Evolutionary programming overrides its calm state. The warthog erupts to its feet, head up, tusks flared, nostrils wide, scanning the horizon. Seeing the lioness break cover to charge, the warthog bolts with its tail raised straight into the air like a radio antenna, darting at top speed toward the safety of its underground burrow. The oxpecker lifts off effortlessly, riding the air currents above the fleeing boar before landing back on its rump as it disappears into the earth. Without the bird's watchful eyes and alarm call, the warthog would have been ambushed and killed on the spot. The oxpecker does not just keep the warthog clean. It serves as a live-monitored airborne early warning radar system. In exchange for a steady supply of blood and parasites, the bird grants its host the one thing every creature in the wild craves most: time to react. This intricate dynamic ripples out far beyond this single pair, supporting the health of the entire ecosystem. By keeping warthogs, buffaloes, and rhinos free of crippling parasite burdens, oxpeckers help maintain stable populations of large herbivores across the continent. Healthy herbivores keep the vegetation grazed, preventing overgrown brush from sparking catastrophic fires and maintaining open grasslands that support countless other species, from gazelles to dung beetles. When the sun begins to set over the horizon, painting the savanna in shades of deep orange and gold, the warthog emerges safely from its burrow. Its skin is cleaner, its ears are free of burrowing pests, and its body is relieved of the burning itch that plagued it at dawn. Near a watering hole, a small flock of red-billed birds calls out from the branches of a fever tree, preening their feathers and preparing for the night ahead. Tomorrow, As the heat returns and the ticks resume their relentless march, the cycle will begin anew. In the African wilderness, survival is never a solo effort. It is a harsh, uncompromising barter system written in blood, hunger, and mutual need. The giant beast with lethal tusks and the tiny bird with a red beak are bound together in an eternal contract, a testament to evolution's incredible ability to turn brutal conflict into life-saving harmony.